under the boot of tyranny, essentially. The first thing that you have to do, well, the ultimate thing that you have to do is you have to control their food sources. You have to make it to the point where you are literally doling out rations to them, and you are depleting their food sources, i.e. the buffalo. You're trying to control people by putting them into small locations and spots. Sounds like a 15-minute city to me. Then you're going to be controlling the input and output of food. If you want people to comply with you, you simply control their rations. Oh, you won't sign this treaty? Okay. Well, you know what? We have had to cut half of your winter ration for your people, of your beans, your rice, your flour, your salt pork, whatever. I think we're going to have half that this year. Or essentially, how about this? Wow, that's going to be tough on us. How about we just double the price? Which is the same thing as cutting it in half if you can't afford most of the foods anyway, which is getting to the point where we are today. Oh. Boop. I deem you the fairest of all homesteaders in all the land. Boop. Well, looky here, guys. The two babies, my two baby choikies, have decided that they wanted to bust out of their jailhouse. Look here. And I walked in here, so they're no longer in here. I don't know how that happened. Sometimes this happens. And looky here, so far we seem to be doing pretty good. Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on it, keeping an eye on it, keeping an eye on it. Boys, be nice, fellas. Is that the latest word? Or is that gossip? Oh. Sweating like crazy in January. Holy cow. So I'm working in the barn this morning, and there's a lot of barking because we have a lot of visitors, a lot of deer. We've started seeing a lot of rabbits. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry. I am so rude. Hey, girl. Welcome to Appalachia's Homestead. Welcome to our homestead mess. See, this is why I film in my car at times because, well, a farm is very loud, and I have discovered that I'm going to film and say whatever I need to, wherever I need to, because the bottom line is you can't make everybody happy. So here it goes. There are a lot of misconceptions about preparedness and this lifestyle all over the internet, and I kind of want to touch upon that because basically what it boils down to is, you know, I don't want you hurting and I don't want you starving to death. And the main thing is there's a lot of new faces here on the channel, and it's a lot of people. I feel like my glasses are dirty. Are they dirty? They probably are. This is why I hate wearing my glasses in the barn. But here's the bottom line. I want you to grow as much food as you physically can. Okay. Whatever you can do. So I want to say that first and foremost. If it's, you know, raised beds, if it's getting out the tractor, if it's in pots, if it's in a windowsill, whatever you can do. If you're getting your first hens this year, know that you're going to have to take care of them. Okay, I always want to say that. I want every little thing that you can do is completely imperative. It has been imperative for a long time. A lot of people just didn't know it. But a lot of people are waking up So there's two conversations here. Number one, what's it going to be like when everyone else wakes up and they're competing for the resources that you are trying to get in other places? Because here's what I'm saying. So there's two issues here is, number one, what's it going to be like? What's it going to be like when everybody wakes up? Could be scary. Could be spooky. Not only that, but are you truly capable of growing every single thing that you eat? And you don't eat anything else? Do you honestly believe that people don't go to restaurants, they don't pick up needs at the grocery store? I can tell you right now that some of the most self-sufficient people on the planet in our area are definitely the Mennonites. And I've done multiple videos. We've shopped with the Mennonites for years. Love them. And, you know, I frequent their places when I can, when we can get out that way. And I make the most of it. But I'm going to tell you something. So I've lived in East Tennessee all of my life. And I've lived outside of Knoxville, and I've lived in Southeast Tennessee where there is a lot of Mennonites. I've also lived up on the Cumberland Plateau where there's a lot of Mennonites. And in fact, they have their own bakeries. They make and sell all their own stuff, okay? But if I had a nickel for every time that I saw these exact same people at Walmart, I wouldn't have to worry about buying my chicken feed bill probably for the rest of the year. That's not a slam, that's not a knock, and that's not an insult. Now, in a crisis situation, though, you're going to ask me, well, but in a crisis situation, could they do it? I'd say that they are likely, obviously, some of the most skilled people in order to do so. They understand more primitive living, going without electricity, working with wood heat, growing their incredible vegetables particularly. They work with mules. And so, yeah, so they're set up to most likely be individuals in a community. One of the communities I'm speaking of, it has, the last time I spoke with them, they verified they had 21 families in their community, and it was around 500 acres. So you have, that's a nice community. I feel like I can't see you. I feel like I'm fogging up because I'm sweating so much. So my point is do you have all these things? Do you do all of these things? 9 times out of 10, you probably don't. Hey, I don't either, okay? This is why we're having this conversation. So this is what I want to stress to you, because now we're getting into late January. People are starting to talk about, you know, incubating their eggs for hens, more hens this year. They're talking about planting seeds and doing their gardens. Please do every bit of that. I am not saying not to. What I want you to understand, though, and what I don't want people to be naive about, is the fact that all of us do rely on the supply chain and the food chain to a point. Now, where you shop may be different than where I shop. Where the Mennonite shop may be different from where your brother shops. But the point is, they're going outside of their homesteads, outside of their community. And you know what? They're getting stuff. Somebody told me the other day on a comment, and I don't know if this is true or not, but she said in a comment that some of the people, like basically the Mennonites in their area, I don't know where this is, so I'm just telling you the comment. I don't see. Would you stop pushing on me? Brains. I got a turkey trying to get in the video. She said that basically the Mennonites in her area know exactly when the trucks show up to the Dollar General, like Tuesdays. So on Tuesdays, guess what? A whole bunch of them come in. And they buy a lot of stuff at the local Dollar General, probably because that's probably one of the stores, you know, around there. But here's my point. Do not be deceived and do not be fooled into thinking that what we are facing right now with everything in terms of the supply chain, inflation, all of that, that you're just going to be able to turn around and go, you know what, I'm gonna buy me some seeds and I'm just going to grow my own food and that's going to be the end of it. Well, I'm going to be the one to tell you that you do need to do those things. But at the same time, if that's your theory and you're not taking into the whole idea of backstock, plan B, C, to go down the whole alphabet of plans, I'm sorry, but you're going to starve to death. Is that better, Tweety? Look at all the new pine shavings, girlfriend. You don't know what to think about that. Guys, be nice to her. Y'all got all muddy and yucky and then jumped in here with her. Need to respect the girl's space. Okay. Seriously, there's about 13 deer coming through. So Anoli and Cochise both are making a lot of racket. So we'll go up here and clean my boots and we'll talk here. So someone very close to me told me that I better make sure, they already know I know, but to make sure that I understand and that I know, and I'm going to pass this to you, that we understand as one example of what happened at Wounded Knee. There's tons of information on that, books, documentaries. You can turn on Amazon Prime, Netflix, whatever, I'm sure. And there's various documentaries on, I'm probably just got mud on my face, the whole situation with that. Probably would behoove you, if you've never studied that, even just if you do it for 15, 20 minutes, to understand what all happened. Just one example. And how you submit people under the boot of tyranny, essentially. The first thing that you have to do, the ultimate thing that you have to do is you have to control their food sources. You have to make it to the point where you are literally doling out rations to them and you are depleting their food sources, i.e. the buffalo. You're trying to control people by putting them into small locations and spots. Sounds like a 15-minute city to me. Then you're going to be controlling the input and output of food. If you want people to comply with you, you simply control their rations. Oh, you won't sign this treaty? Okay. Well, you know what? We have had to cut half of your winter ration for your people, of your beans, your rice, your flour, your salt pork, whatever. I think we're going to have to half that this year. Or essentially, how about this? Wow, that's going to be tough on us. How about we just double the price? Which is the same thing as cutting it in half if you can't afford most of the foods anyway, which is getting to the point where we are today. Do not think for 1 minute, do not think that you are exempt from any possibility like this ever happening to you. Look at history. So I don't want anybody, I say this to myself, I will say this to anybody. Don't ever think that it can't ever happen to you or your people. You know what? You may not even be alive to endure such things, but it may be your children or your grandchildren. You need to have skills. You need to have skill sets, but you also need to have a backbone. And you also better have a backup plan for a backup plan and a backup plan. Some people will say that I simply say these things to scare you. They're ignorant fools is what they are. They are scared, ignorant fools who do nothing but troll the internet and want to make you believe their rhetoric, which is doing nothing works. Being a recliner warmer doesn't work. You're going to have to do. And the most important thing that you can do right now, has been, is today, and will be tomorrow, is making sure that you are continuing to stock your pantry. I do not care what anybody else says about this. It is the bona fide fact. Because the fact of the matter really is, if you're waiting on, well, how do you stand today in your pantry? I'm going through mine right now and organizing and figuring things out. It's that time of year. How does your pantry look? What do you have? What can you add to? What are the things that you need? What can you change? What are you learning? We could go endless. How long is that going to last you? Let's pretend that you have enough food in your home. Hypothetical. You have enough food in your home right now to last you to, let's say, September. What's that actually going to end up being? About 7 months from now? Let's say half a year. Because you are going to be completely dependent upon, because you just know you're going to have an awesome harvest. And you're going to get some piglets. And you're going to, take down a hog next November. you know, your neighbor's got chickens and you're going to get a few. What if a family of raccoons comes in and takes out every one of those hens or ducks, like all of us people in the know here have already experienced at least one time? That would be tough. So there's a meat source gone, and a protein source gone, and don't forget them beautiful eggs. What if you have a sow and she has a bunch of babies and she rolls over on them and smothers every single one of them? Well, then you're down to just one. What if you take all this time building all of these beautiful things for your garden right now, starting right now, prepping right now, getting all your seedlings in and getting all these things ready, all in the greenhouse, all these things that we need to be doing soon. And it's going to bring you all of this abundance, isn't it? Well, what if you plant it and come the end of May, something weird happens with the weather and hail comes through and takes the whole doggone thing out? What if you get so much rain that it floods your potatoes? What if you get some weird critter that comes through and eats everything? It could be an insect, it could be a deer. What happens if a two-legged creature comes in one night and starts taking everything that you got? What if you get sick? What if you can't work your fields? Do you have fields? It takes fields. It takes fields. Here's where I'm going with this. My cows are coming up here. Here's where I'm going with this. And I don't know if I have mud on my face right now. I don't know. I can't see. Please be preparing your home as best you can with backups of foods, canned foods, whatever it is you need to be doing, because here's the bottom line. What is today? We're in the 3rd week of January, right? Guys, they're already telling you prices are going to be going up. They're already warning you. I mean, I have seen all kinds of different things. People saying it's going to be this percentage is going to be going up this year. It's going to double here and that. It's going to be this or that. You already know it's already crazy. You know that it's continuing to get crazy. And you also already know that they are point blank telling you it's going to get more expensive. Go Google it. Look it up. Expected to go up 14%. Expected to go up here. That is over what you're already paying. So please, I am telling you, please grow your food. Please be self-sufficient as possible. Learn skills and share them. But understand they are not foolproof. And if you're going to sit here and say, well, I'll just go hunt. So is everybody else. Don't be naive into thinking that you don't need backups. Okay? This is real life. This is real stuff. This is real conversation. This is really what's happening right now. I understand that inflation is continuing to push people out of getting certain things that they want. Well, I get that, but go for what you need. Maybe we need to change, all of us, me included, and I'm working on this, and we've talked about this before. Remember how we've talked about rationing before? Don't look at that as a word of punishment. Look at that as a word of education and experience. There's a lot of people that comment on my channel that say, I do intermittent fasting, and I've taken myself off of a few things, and I've even gotten down to the point where I can do do 2 meals a day, and I feel great. I'm doing great. I've lost a little bit of weight. I have energy. I don't know what works for you and your health and your family, but I would be looking into some options. Can you pull back a little bit here or a little bit there? But for the love of everything beautiful given to us by our wonderful God, do not ever be fooled into thinking that you don't need to be stocking a pantry. I didn't say go hoard. I didn't say take everything on the shelf. I'm saying, like I've always told you, continue to do. Yes, if you have to run into a store because you're getting this or this and you walk by and you see something on sale that you know you like or you could use, grab one. Do it. Don't listen to those people that are selling the snake oil that you're going to be able to go out there and put a couple of seeds out in the ground and put a couple of seed potatoes in and you're going to be eating the next year. No, you're going to be starving in a couple of weeks, actually. Because you're going to be running through everything that you've got in that pantry because your harvest didn't come in. Your cow didn't make it. How does that sound? That's right. What if your milk cow has to be put down? Or what if you come out one morning like I did and she's gone? These things happen, and they happen often. Don't think things can't happen to you. Don't think that we're exempt, because we're not. No one's coming to help you. No one's coming to save you. You have to save yourself. That's not popular. That's not feel good. But Lord have mercy, somebody's got to tell you. Ignore anything that looks like nonsense and do what your gut is telling you. And I am hoping and praying that it is telling you to do everything that you can to prepare. Guys, here's the thing. And I'm going to say this, I'm going to close it out. And I'm a hot mess. I feel like I've got mud on my face. You can't prepare once you think something bad is about to happen or has already happened. That is a very consuming and overwhelming thought. I fight it every single day. I fight every single day with, am I doing enough? And I do have to find a place to kind of decompress and go, I'm doing the best that I can. You've got to do the best that you can. As long as you know you're doing your best, that's all that matters. But do not ignore what's going on around you, and don't think, listen, I bet you a donut with sprinkles that you probably are the only one around wherever you're living, it's probably doing anything. So what happens the day that they all wake up? What happens the day that they all try to start doing what we're talking about? What happens? And everybody's competing for a pantry. Something to think about. Guys, praying for you, praying for our great nation. Thank you for being here. Like, subscribe, and share. Apologies for all the hot mess, but you know what? Being cute left a long time ago, right? That's right. We've got to be doers. Guys, like, subscribe, and share. Appreciate you being here. I'm going to go grab a bite to eat finally, and we will see you on the next video.